Yeah, you know what? I had this idea. Let me know what you think about this. When you said that you guys were creating this technology and it came to your understanding that it didn't work, I kind of think that that is exactly what's been happening in our world for the last 20 years. It seems to me that, boards of directors, CEOs, people at the top have been sold this bill of good of technology. Like, okay, this is going to make everything more productive. We're going to have these self-driving trucks. We're going to have this new technology that's way better, and it's going to alleviate, workforce. It's going to create tenfold production. But it seems to me that a lot of the technology that's been sold as a method of solving problems hasn't come to fruition.
Mm.
And now we're seeing these problems play out because people try to implement it and it doesn't work, but they've already bought it. They're already committed to it. And so they're rolling it out anyway. And
Yeah.
it seems to me that in doing so, we've lost the very knowledge that has got us to where we are. We've lost the people in leadership that started at the bottom and worked their way up. And I'm just curious if you see that as maybe an isolated couple incidents, or do you think that that could be the thin red thread that's woven its way through the world in which we live today?
Yeah, that's a really great observation, and I think that I can't speak for everyone else that
Right.
had, is working in jobs like this because I've only been in one particular industry, but I've seen that exact dynamic play out across the industry, which is why I kind of left the industry because I'm like, well, this is happening at my job. I know what's happening at these other
Yeah.
companies, so where am I going to go? Because it's all the same. And I'll take it even a step further. I think
Nice.
that problem you mentioned is probably a huge reason for why people are resigning in droves or they're miserable at work
Hmm.
now more than ever,
Yeah.
because what was sold as something that's supposed to enhance productivity and create growth, actually for most of the people at, well, I was like middle management and below, but like at those level of jobs, it just it makes it into more drudgery
Yeah.
because it takes away your creativity.
Yep.
So, I mean, to use an example from my work, I used to do a lot in Excel, and I quite like Excel because I'm a logically oriented person and I can think of little formulas to optimize my work and view data the way I want. And then there are problems with that, though, of course, with doing everything in Excel. So then they bring in software as a solution. Problem is, now you got to do it that way. You can only do it the way the
Yeah. Yeah.
software allows you to do it.
Yeah.
So you have way less autonomy over how you control your work. And then what kept happening to me is it took me twice as long to get the job done because something I could just do in Excel, I had to do this roundabout way in the software. And it just ended up being more boring and took longer. And then, of course, you're evaluated on, your productivity, and
Yeah.
what they gave me made my productivity go down. So I don't know. For me, it was okay, but a lot of people struggled. They worked
Yeah.
longer and they were just more miserable. And so, yeah, it just hasn't really the what they've sold it as hasn't really come to fruition as you said.